See, first, let them join. So, yeah. So, good evening, everyone. So, we have here with us Mr. Shivam Bareja. So, it's an honor to welcome our guest for today's YouTube live session on cracking the GDPI process for MBA college conversion. Now, Shivam is a multi industry professional with experience spanning chemical and manufacturing, FMCG, consulting, financial services, and many more. Currently, an area sales manager at Pidilite Industry. He drives strategic growth across Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. An alumnus of prestigious FMS Delhi, Shivam ranked third out of batch of 276 and was in the top 5% at Sahid Bhagat Singh College, D. Beyond academics, he has led initiatives with Enactus, TEDx, and Finance Society and worked with top organizations like ITC, Urban Company, and Impact Consulting. With expertise in Excel, Power BI, and Tableau, Shivam blends strategic acumen with passion for community impact. Today, he is here to share his winning strategies to help us and help you to nail the GDPI and achieve your MBA dreams. So let's dive in. and he will be sharing all the secret to how to crack GDPI. So I would like to hand over the stage to Shivam.
Thanks, Yash, for the warm welcome. Welcome to everyone who have joined this session. So, before we start in, I would like to clear some points to you. As you must have got your CAT results, now you must start your GDPI preparation because this preparation needs some kind of strategic preparation in different aspects of your journey, in terms of your behavioral answers, in terms of your general awareness, in terms of your undergrad as well as work experience topics. Also, I would like to clear that if you get a call for any interview, you must have the mindset to clear that interview. And you should try to ensure that you are preparing to your full potential for every interview. Also, understand one thing that all the colleges where you're going for the interview, the interviewer want to select you. Get with that mindset that the interviewer want to select you, and you have to ensure that we are giving them points that they select you for. So to start with, if I talk about the interview first of all, so for interview, the most important part for a preparation is your behavioral answers, your HR answers, which are the most important part for your preparation. So there are certain questions which you must prepare for, which are, for example, tell me about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your why MBA. These are some of the questions on which discussion is driven for your interviews. Now, how to prepare these specific questions, if I give you my opinion, you should first start with writing a biography of yourself. By biography, I mean write down about your life, about what all things you have done, about your family, about your any experiences in your life in a Word document, which can be as long as 2 to 3 pages. And after writing that biography, you will understand that from these points you can prepare your HR answers because your HR answers need to be concise as well as coherent, as well as they should be completely coherent to the interviewer also. So, for example, your TMAY. TMAY should not be just an explanation of your resume. That I've done my college from this and this university and I've done this and this course. It should be engaging. It should give an overview of your life to the interviewer, from which an interviewer can ask questions to you. So that tell me about yourself is very important. And these kind of questions are prepared from your biography, which you will write down. So my first suggestion is before starting your preparation, open a Word document, write down about your life for 2 to 3 pages at least. Be as detailed as possible because that will help you in finding your HR answers. And this will help you in forming all of your HR answers. So, first is tell me about yourself, which, as I told you, it should not be just an explanation of your resume. It should be engaging, it should be coherent, and it should provide a story of your life to the interviewer in as concise manner as possible. Then there are questions like strength and weaknesses, which are again very important questions. Also, there is a way of giving answers to these questions. You need to ensure that you are giving a concise answer to the interviewer. So, for example, if the question is, tell me about your strength, you should speak about that this is my strength, then give examples from your lifestyle where you have exemplified that strength. For example, if you are saying that I am very hardworking, then give an example of your life where you have exemplified this kind of strength in your life. It should not be something where you're just telling about your strength. You should give some examples from your life. And again, your biography will help you in this parameter. Similarly, if the question is about your weaknesses, for example, weaknesses, when I used to speak in three parts. Firstly, I should tell about what is my weakness. Secondly, I should tell how this weakness is impacting my life. And in third line, which is the most important line, I used to tell what I am doing to reduce that weakness in my life. Because in this manner, what we are trying to show, firstly, we are trying to tell that we are trying to tell about a weakness, and we are also accepting the kind of impact the weakness is causing to us. And in the third line, we are telling what we are doing to reduce our weakness. That is the most important line. And in this way, you can be concise also, and you can explain about your weakness to the interviewer. Strength and weakness are very important part, and you must be preparing at least 2 to 3 strengths as well as weaknesses for your HR answers. Then other question which is also asked in your interviews is why MBA, which is also a very important question. Again, why MBA के लिए ensure you have some certain number of points prepared for your interview. In my opinion, whenever you're giving answers to the to the interviewer, ensure you are giving answer in concise and structured manner. By structured manner, I mean you can just say that my reason of my MBA is for because of three reasons. First reason, second reason, third reason. This shows that you have a structured mindset. You have prepared about the points and you have done well research about how you want to do an MBA. Okay, apart from these, there are questions like some other HR questions like your what is your biggest strength, what is your biggest failure. All these questions you can prepare from the biography you have prepared in the starting. So that's why that biography which you will prepare, which will be for 2 3 pages, that will help you a lot in preparing your HR answers. Also, whenever you're speaking about HR answers, try to be as structured as possible. Again, by structure, you can use the framework of STAR L, which is situation, task, action, result, learning. Tell about the situation in life, then what was the task at hand, then what was the action you did, what was the result that happened because of that, and what was the learning. Your learning mindset should always be visible from your HR answers, so keep that in mind. Some other HR answers which you must prepare is what is a short term and long term goal, what is a medium term goal, what is a specialization where you want to do an MBA in. So these are some of the major tell me about major behavioral HR answers that you must prepare on. The major ones being tell me about yourself, your strength, your weaknesses, and why you want to do an MBA. Apart from this, you must be preparing about all the basic information from all the places where you have been associated with. So, for example, like I was from Delhi. So, some of the questions which were asked to me was, for example, what is the difference between Delhi and NCR? All the chief tell me all the chief minister names of tell me all the name of chief ministers of Delhi. What I'm trying to explain is that from every place you have been associated with, prepare basic information about that place for your interviews because that is something which is expected that you are aware of in the interview. So, for example, if someone is from Maharashtra, they should be aware about the history of Maharashtra, about the current scenario of Maharashtra, about the current geography and current political knowledge about the city and the state where they are part of. This is what is expected from your interviews. Similarly, every kind of institute you have been a part of, that can also be asked in your interview. So, for example, I was from Shahid Bhagat Singh College. In one of my interview, I was asked about the life of Shahid Bhagat Singh, and I was asked to give my understanding and my opinion about Bhagat Singh. What I'm trying to explain, as I mentioned, every organization and every city you have been associated with, ensure the basic information is prepared with respect to that institute or with respect to that city. That is also very important. Third point, you must be aware of all the current happenings in the world as well as in the country during the time of your interview. So in your interview, for example, they can ask you questions regarding those current happenings. They will prefer asking about your opinion with respect to the current happening. So, for example, during my interviews, farm laws agitation was happening. So I was asked about my opinion on farm laws and what it can be a possible solution with respect to that kind of a conflict. Similarly, so be aware of all the conflicts as well as all the current happenings which are happening in the country as well as in the world, and questions can be asked with respect to those points. For answering these points, you can read about the general knowledge affairs from the newspapers around yourself. You can also read about there are many sources available online also, which you can refer. You ensure that you have complete substantiated knowledge about these current happenings. Try to be as unbiased as possible while providing answers to these questions. Be structured as well as concise, and also ensure that you are able to speak with proper logic and proper facts and figures in these answers. Apart from this, you should also be aware about if you are having a work experience, you must be having complete knowledge of the company you have been part of. For example, if you're part of any startup, you must be aware of the startup culture, about any questions related to startup world, or if your startup is from, or if your company is from FMCG, for example, you must be prepared about some current trends in FMCG, some current knowledge about FMCG, anything which has happened related to that. You must be prepared regarding those things also. Okay. So, for example, if I'm part of a company, questions can be asked about what was my role and responsibility, what were the challenges I faced, why I'm leaving my job and coming to MBA. So you must be prepared about these questions. And for freshers, questions can be asked related to your undergrad subjects. Apart from this, regarding undergrad subjects, questions can be asked from work folks also. So ensure that you have prepared some basic information about the subjects you have studied in your college. So, for the hack for this can be that at least prepare for some major subjects which have in your part of your college curriculum, so that you can answer questions with respect to those topics. Now, it may happen that you are not able to prepare for all the subjects. Ensure there are 2 to 3 subjects which you have prepared completely, so that in the interview you can at least mention about that. That okay, I'm not aware of this subject, but this was my favorite subject, and I can speak about that subject in the interview. In interview, they might go deep also with respect to any subject. That's why basic information about the subjects you have studied is very important in your MBA interviews. Apart from this, regarding for working folks also, getting curriculum knowledge is very important, as questions can be asked with respect to your subjects. Also, in case you are not able to speak about any specific topic, it is completely okay to say that I don't know the answer of this question and I will read about it post my interview. This shows that you have a learning mindset and you are okay and saying and you are okay in saying that you don't know a topic or you don't know an answer of a topic. Okay. An interviewer is not expecting that you are aware of each and every topic. They want to see the temperament you hold while answering a question or while answering to an interviewer, because that is what they're trying to check. And as I mentioned in the starting also, every interview in which you are going, the interviewer have a mindset to select you. You have to give them proper points with respect to why they should select you in a college. Okay. To sum up, behavioral questions are very important. Your general awareness about the cities you have been part of, the organizations you have been part of, the current affairs, that is very important. Your work experience as well as your undergrad subjects are very important. These 3 things are very important. So, as I told you in brief about these things, how you should go ahead for this. So, from now only, I believe you should start writing about your biography. That should be your goal number one. Take a day, write about your biography for 2 to 3 pages. From that, start framing your HR answers. Get it wet also from people around and understand if you are not being structured or if you are not being concise. Ensure you are able to form a story of your life, because that is very important. If you are not coherent or if your story is not making coherence, that can be an issue. And hence, writing about your biography will always help. And this will also help you in forming your different HR answers. Basic knowledge, for basic knowledge, start reading about the city you have been part of, read about the history, read about some basic information, get information about who is your MP, who is your MLA, about the city you have been part of, about the geography, about the political knowledge about that city, read about the general affairs around sources around yourself, and also start reading about your undergrad subjects. So these are the major points you should prepare for your interviews. Also, one more thing, hobbies are also asked in these interviews. So you can speak about your hobbies, but ensure any hobby you are mentioning, you have substantiated knowledge about that hobby. And it is not a hobby which you are just speaking for the sake of it. It should be complete. It should be your hobby in real, and you must be aware about the knowledge about that hobby, because it might be a case that interviewers start asking you questions about your hobby, and if you're not able to answer at that time, it might give you a negative impact. So, and keep that in mind. And this is true for every other topic you speak about in an interview. Don't try to bluff the interview. Try to be as honest in the interview, and also try to be as, I would say, genuine in the interview with respect to your answers and everything, so that the interviewer is able to relate with you. That is very important, and is able to understand your point of view. I hope this was clear to you in terms of what you should prepare for your interviews. Now coming to group discussion part. So group discussion also happens in few of the colleges. So in FMS also group discussion used to happen before. For group discussions, there are certain things which you should keep in your mind. Firstly, in group discussion, the interviewer is trying to check how you react and how you speak in a group, and are you able to put across your point in a group of people, and how you are able to think on your feet with respect to any topic. So while speaking about any topic, how to get points with respect to that topic, you can use some framework like Pestel framework. So I used to use Pestel framework, which is P for political, E for economical, S for social, T for technological, E for economical or environmental, and L for legal. I used to write it down during the 1 minute time which we get to prepare notes, and write down any point which got into my mind with respect to that specific topic. So, for example, the topic is cricket. Cricket के ऊपर anything political can I think of it? Anything I can think of in terms of economical or environmental? Anything legal I can think of, so that I can speak about that specific topic in my interview. Sorry, in my group discussion. Group discussion में also it is not. I would say it is not. मतलब there is it's you don't get marks for speaking a lot. You get marks for speaking the right things and at right time. So that you must be aware of. Ensure you are able to speak in a group discussion, and how to find that you need to practice for that. While you practice for the group discussion, you will understand where to put your point and how to put your point, and try to put 2 to 3 entries while pointing in any group discussion interviews. Apart from this, you also have BAT in many of the colleges, which is written ability test. So for written also again, for any topic you get, try to think of different points you can write down, different points you can think from the pestle framework only. So for any point any topic you can think of certain points, then you need to write in a coherent manner about that specific topic. Sometimes it also might happen that they give you an abstract topic for writing. For that again, pestle framework will always help. You can think about different aspects of the word you have been given for writing. In that sense, you can write about that thing. Apart from this VAT and GD and PI, some also there are also some questions which are asked in your applications for your colleges. So in my time, I remember that many colleges they have many questions which they give you, which you need to prepare before you need to prepare, you need to write down while submitting the form to that specific college. So ensure you are able to write properly in those applications, and ensure your HR answers as well as your interview answers, they are completely coherent and they're completely in line with what you have written in the application questions. It should not be the case that what you are writing and what you have speaking is different, because that is something where interview can catch and that can go negative in your negative, that can go negative for you. So these are some of the major things which you must be aware of while preparing for your interviews as well as group discussion and PI. Any questions you can please, I'm up for it.
Uh, so yeah, thanks, Shivam, for giving such a detailed explanation what all things we must do. So I also believe that many students must be having this question. Like, I have a question like, what's your advice on handling tricky question or like unexpected question in personal interview, like especially those that aimed at challenging your weakness or decisions or decision making.
Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier only, all these, the interviewers, they want to select you. Keep that in your mindset, first of all. When you keep that in your mindset, you will realize that the tricky questions are actually questions to check your temperament and how you are handling the pressure. So, for example, if you are be asked with any question where you have no knowledge, you can just mention that, sir, don't have knowledge about this topic as of now. I will read about this topic post my interview. This gives two pointers to the interviewer. First pointer is that this candidate is acknowledging that he is not aware of this specific topic. He is not trying to bluff the interviewer instead, but actually accepting that he doesn't know the answer of this question. And second, and most important, it also shows that the interviewee is having a learning mindset. He is accepting that he doesn't know this thing, and he will also read about this post the interview. So my key is, don't be pressurized when any tricky question has been asked to you. Try to be as positive in the interview and try to answer the question with complete calm mindset. Having a calm mindset is very important in the interview. If you take pressure during the interview or you get nervous or flustered, that can go negative in your impression with respect to the interviewer. So ensure you are completely calm and you are poised during your interview. I hope
Okay,
it answers
so
your
yeah,
question.
it really helped the explanation which you gave. So this was one of the question which like impacts an interview. Another question is like what is a post MBA vision, like short term goals and long term goals. Like many students are not able to elaborate on them. So can you please give an explanation like how should we answer this question during our interview?
Sure. So, as I mentioned, with respect to any HR questions you have doubts for, firstly, writing a biography of your life will give you a lot of answers. Because I would take 5 minutes to explain about the biography again with respect to what I mean by biography. Why, by saying biography, start with your childhood. By childhood, start about your family. Write down what your parents do, what your family is all about, what kind of values you have gained from family. Start from your childhood, then your teenage years, then your early adulthood, then your job, then your college, then your school. Everything when you will write down, you will understand about your life from that 2 or 3 pages, and that will help you forming your HR answers. While it will also help you preparing your HR answers, it will help you what kind of a purpose you are aiming for in your life. That will give you a brief introduction to that will give you a brief outgo about what you want to achieve in life. With respect to short term and long term goal now, the question which was asked. So short term goal means what kind of goal you are want to achieve in the immediate future. And if I talk about the medium term goal also, just to add in, medium term goal can be a goal which you are aiming for in the next 3 to 5 or 3 to 7 years. And long term goal is complete vision about your life, a purpose your life you have. And it is very obvious that for many of us, this is not very clear to all of us. So to prepare this kind of an answer, short-term goals may think about your immediate goal which you are having in your mindset, which can be to do an MBA from a good college, which can be to get a good job, which can be to get a job in so and so domain, like these. And long-term goal, you can think of what kind of a career path you see yourself in next 5 to 10 years, or what kind of life you want to live in 5 to 10 years. Do you want to create a positive impact in the world? You want to become good in marketing, you want to become a marketing lead in future or a finance lead. These kind of things you can prepare for in terms of your long term or short term goals. I hope this helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps. The answer which you give will definitely help students to prepare for the best sort. So, since we are talking about personal interview and GD, so the most common questions are asked from current affairs and all.
Yes.
So, what would you suggest, like how important it is staying updated with current affairs, and what is the best way to prepare for such questions in a GDPI?
It is very important that you are aware about the general affairs around you because it shows that the candidate is updated and is well aware of the general happenings around their lifestyle. Regarding how to prepare for these kind of questions, so what my suggestion would be, you should start reading about the current happenings in the last 6 months to 1 year. For example, elections, when then things with respect to any new policy that came up, any new discussion happening in the parliament, or any discussion which are happening in the sports world or in the economy, what is happening. All these things should start reading about it. Newspapers can be a good start. You can also read about in some of the general affair magazines, or you can go and surf some of the YouTube channels which speak about different news and all. You can start from that. That can be a starting point. My opinion will be, my suggestion would be, firstly, read about that specific topic, understand what that specific topic is all about, then try to understand so for every topic, try to understand what are the two sides of the topic. So, for example, if I talk about like during my time, it was Atmanirbhar Bharat was going on. So, what are the pros of that? What are the cons of that? Read about that, make a point, make an understanding of that, read about some of the statistics, and try to form your own point of view with respect to every point. Try to be as unbiased as possible. Try to be as balanced as possible in your answers. Speak about both views. Speak in as balanced manner as possible, and try to incorporate facts and statistics if possible in your answers. That will help you a lot. So my point of view again, as I mentioned, read about these topics from journal affair magazines or newspaper or from YouTube and all. Try to understand, get well back research for these topics. So what I used to do, I used to write down all the general affair topics in a separate register where I used to prepare from. So from that I had in my mind, okay, these are all the pointers, and now I have to prepare pros and cons and anything about these specific topics. Make such note, make a list of such topics, understand about the pros and cons, get substantiated knowledge, and from that you can answer these kind of questions. I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Like current affairs plays a very important role in acing your
Definitely.
interview, and many students make a common mistake by not getting towards or staying updated with the latest news. So
True.
I would also love to know, like, what are the common mistakes according to you, which most students have during GDPI?
Okay. So few of the mistakes which I have seen in candidates who do in during this GDPI preparation. Firstly, many candidates tend to be nervous during these interviews. As I mentioned in the starting only, all these interviews, the interviewers want to select you. Keep that in your mindset. That will try to make things easier, and try to keep things as simple as possible. By being nervous or by overthinking with respect to the interview, you are creating roadblocks for your own self in the interview. So try to be as calm, try to be as positive in the interview and not be nervous. So first mistake which I have seen in many candidates is that they tend to be nervous. Second, I've also seen, this is just an extension of the first point, they tend to overthink with respect to that interview. So, for example, they think, okay, I got a call, but I will not be able to convert this interview because my percentile is very low. I want to also clear this thing that if you have got any call for any interview, there is 100% chance of converting that college. Okay, there is no such thing that you have got a call but you cannot convert an interview. There might be less or more chances, but in terms of probability, it's 100% probability that you can convert an interview. So keep that in your mind. If you have got a call, ensure you're giving your best for that interview because there is a chance that you can clear that interview. Only that's why you have got a call for an interview. So by over analyzing the outcome, this is also a big mistake. With respect to preparation, I have seen many candidates, they tend to be unstructured while giving their answers. By being unstructured, the interviewer understands that the basic preparation has not been done. If you are unstructured, it shows that you are not well back with your points. By structure, as I told you earlier also, so for example, the question is why MBA? You can just speak that my MBA, the reason why I want to do MBA is because of the 3 points, first, second, third. This shows that you are structured in your answers. Another mistake where I've seen in candidates is that they tend to be less coherent. Their stories are less coherent. They tend to speak about their resume only. So, for example, tell me about yourself is just like this call. I've done my bachelor from this college. I've done internship in this place. I've been part of this in the society. That's it. This is not a coherent answer. And from such kind of answers, the interviewer will not understand the motive of you doing an MBA. So that is a big problem. So try to be as structured as possible and as concise and coherent with your answers. So these are some of the major mistakes which I've seen in candidates who are preparing for GDPI. I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, definitely. If your answer is unstructured and you are not well versed, it will definitely affect your interview in negative way. So, so, I wanted to ask, being an FMS alumnus, like, how do you think your experience at the institute shaped your career? Like a motivation type of answer, so that students who have converted FMS
Hmm.
gives. Yeah.
So I personally feel that the life changes while doing an MBA from a good college or from any college actually. These 2 years they form the basics of your life. They make you prepared for your corporate life, I believe. So these 2 years are the life-changing years for anyone who are going for MBA. So you get to experience to work under high pressure. You get to experience working under tight deadlines and all. You become a more multitasking individual. So it's a good experience overall. You get to meet new people. You get to interact with many intelligent minds of the country. So it's a good experience, and it definitely changes your life for the better. So that's, I would definitely say, for anyone who is going for interviews, and try your best for these interviews, I would say, because MBA, these 2 years will definitely change your life for the better. It did for me, and it does for everyone around.
Yeah, definitely. Getting a college like FMS will change the life of the candidate. And you want to specify any moment at your, or would like to say any moment in FMS, or
Moment as such, so there are many good moments which happened in my college life. Many good moments. So there are many presentations where we give some of the good presentations. Sometimes we have to present to some CXOs around. So it's a good experience in that way also. You get to interact with such kind of people. That kind of a platform FMS gives to you. So that was a good experience. So that is some of the good moments I remember.
yeah, definitely talking with CXO and all, uh, definitely alter your way of thinking as well.
Definitely.
So it also boosts your confidence and the way
Yeah.
you think. So what is the biggest takeaways and like lessons like you learn doing your GDPI, like any setback which you faced and you try to cope up with that?
So I had a gap year actually. Not a gap year, I had gap of 7, 8 months. So questions were asked on why I had a gap of 7, 8 months. So my suggestion would be for anyone who is preparing for these kind of interviews, don't get flustered by these questions. Just be honest with your answers, and be honest and be specify why the things happen in what way. If you are honest and genuine in your answers, that will definitely help you out. So this is one of the problem which I had during my interviews, but I was able to tackle it by preparing my answers properly. And again, I want to add this thing: if you have a gap, it does not matter as long as you are able to justify your gap. By justifying your gap, be honest about why you had a gap and just provide information that, okay, I had a gap, what all things you did because of the gap, just mention that. It will be
Since this was the basic doubt which students were having, and I believe that most of the doubts has been cleared. So, lastly, I would love to know like any three golden tips that you would love to give the aspirants who are appearing for GDPR this year, and what would they be?
sure. Sure. First is be as concise and structured in your answers. That's very, very important. Second point is try to form a story of your life that will help you forming your HR answers, which is a key of preparing and key of, I would say, secret weapon to clear these interviews. Third thing is be well versed of everything you have associated with, be it the cities, be it the state, be it the organization, be it the institutes you have part of, and also prepare the top subjects you have studied during your undergrad. These things are very important. So these will be the three golden rules from my side. Also, my one more advice: don't be nervous, as I mentioned earlier. Also, if you have got an interview call, it's completely possible to clear that interview. There is no way, because if you're getting a call, you are eligible for clearing that interview. So keep that in mind. Be positive in doing your interview. Be calm and be poised. Don't get nervous. and you will definitely do good.
Thanks for sharing this three golden tips. I believe that this will definitely help students to crack their interview for the colleges they are targeting. And this was a great session. Thanks for giving time, Shivam. And we definitely love the interaction with you, the way you gave the answer to all the questions the students were having, the detailed answer, the way you articulated the doubts of the students was really great. And we would love to hear like last line, like what would be your last words to the students and a motivational type of line so that students get their best score.
Definitely. So, as I mentioned before, also, just be calm and give your best for these interviews. Try to be as positive as possible. Smile always help while giving these interviews. So, smile as much as possible. Be positive. If you have got a call, you can definitely convert it. If anyone tells you that you can't convert a call, it's not true. You can definitely convert it by giving your best during your interview calls. Ensure you are giving your best to every call you are getting. Don't think about whether you want to go into a college or not. Just give your best to these interviews. Every interview you will give, it will definitely help you prepare for your future also. Trust me on that when I say this. So every interview you're giving, prepare it like this is your final interview, I would say. And you will do good definitely in that way.
So yeah, thank you. So if you have any query, so you can join our WhatsApp group as well, or you can connect with Shivam on LinkedIn. So his ID is Shivam Bareja. You can uh, get the name as well in the screen itself. So yeah, so thanks Shivam for giving us your valuable time, and we really appreciate your giving towards the MBA community as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Yash. All the best to everyone.
Thank you.